So I am here to talk about my personal speech that I've made, and this is all about the loudest sound of silence. Silence. It was 1995 at the doctor's conference room when a couple was confronted by their doctor. He said, "I am very sorry, but all the tests suggest that your wife has cancer." All I've heard was silence. Silence. There was a long silence after that. I was not there, but when this story was told to me, I heard the longest and the loudest sound of silence because that woman was my mother. My mom was diagnosed with ovarian cancer in the year 1995. That year, my brother and sister was just around 4 to 5 years old. Fear. I can still feel the fear every time my mom would be telling us this story. She was so afraid that time because she doesn't know who would be taking care of my brother, my sister, and my dad. And most of all, she doesn't know how will she tell my brother and my sister that their mother has a cancer, that their mommy would die anytime soon. My mom would always tell us this story because she learned a lot from this. And in my mom's own words, she tells us and she tells the world as well that don't wait till you experience the fear of dying, because you should fear of what is dying inside of you while you are still living. And every time she ends that story, I can see the sense of pride in her eyes, and I am very proud of her for that one. It was a long story and a long struggle that my mom had to undergo. It was a testing time for herself and her faith. She fought all by herself because at that time, my dad was so weakened by turn of events. In my mom's own silence, she stood tall and kept her faith higher than even before until she overcomes the dreaded disease, but with a price. A miracle. She was told that she won't be able to have another child again. But my mom and dad were devastated, and life goes on for the both of them. But 5 years after that, my mom came back to the doctor and told that she was pregnant. Her doctors could not believe how it happened as both of my mom's ovaries were totally damaged, as in totally damaged. The doctors were wondering while my parents were both praying, thanking God without any questions at all. Yes, it was a miracle that my mom was healed. She was given another lease of life and another great miracle to have another child and another life as well. And that baby was me, the miracle baby, my mother's miracle baby and the family's miracle baby. My mom will always tell this story to everyone until she ever made it as her own winning speech that made her reach the World Championship in Toronto, Canada during 2005. And that was all about my story. Life is short. You can live to the fullest and never regret to the highest. Now, I also want to share to you the same story because of the special lesson that it had given to me. The dreaded disease of my mom was a blessing in disguise. It made her to stop from everything that she was doing and look back for everything that she has done and everything that she wasn't able to do. You see, there are a lot of things in life we take for granted, and then only when life is at the edge, then we realize those important things, even the leastest things that matters. My mom kept on telling this to me again and again. Life is short, you can live to the fullest and never regret to the highest. Yet, I am still learning. Right now, I am away from my family and have been living all by myself. I miss all of them, but the situations needed us to be apart temporarily, and that's completely fine. My parents and two older siblings are working abroad, and I am still here studying first year college. The setup that I must be here in the Philippines alone to study is exciting, especially at my age. I am 18 years old, by the way. I was given my own place to stay to be in full convenience for my studies. but it is also frightening and lonely. It is a very big task and a big responsibility that even up to now I am still learning, and through my learning process, I have my own success and own failure as well. So, another silence? My parents rejoice in all my success, but they all fall into silence when I failed. That sound of silence that my parents gave me is the loudest that I have ever heard ever since I was born. It was deafening. Their silence pierced my heart, for I knew I broke theirs. I had to pick up every pieces of their broken hearts, begging for their forgiveness each and every day. Without saying anything, they still embraced me back. Tears had just kept rolling from my eyes for how long? Who knows? It has been 8 months of struggle for me to enjoy life, to learn new things, explore more, make new friends, do good in my studies, and of course, to be as responsible as a young adult. A lot of times I failed as a responsible teenager or a responsible adult. I lived and laughed, explored a lot until I wasn't able to balance enjoyment and responsibility. I got confused with the excitement to make new friends and go beyond with the trust given to me by the parents, especially my mom. My mom, who was instrumental to make my dad agree for me to study here in the Philippines. So, was it all worth it? Is it worth it? I cried heavily, especially knowing that my failure tore apart my mom, who struggled for her life to give another life. And that is me. My mom fought to survive and asked God for another chance to live a more meaningful life. I even compared my struggle to my mom's struggle, and nothing that I have come closer to what she had suffered. I asked myself again, is it worth it? Is the fun, freedom, and living life to the fullest worth it? Am I really worth it? It will definitely be hard and tough, but I can do it. My mom calls me every day, and no matter how much I have broken her heart, she still forgives me and never miss saying I love you to me, because she always tells me that's how precious I am, and I felt that. Today, I looked at myself in the mirror and give assurance that I am worth it. It's just like what my mom was always been telling me for the past 18 years of my life. I am worth trying things out again in better way, learning from my mistakes and be that responsible adult that my parents wished for me. It will be hard and tough, but I knew I can do it because I was able to make friends who had been with me to help me. I realized that these people surrounded me and protected me from the wrong path I was about to take. And I thank that friends for doing that for me. It was a really huge favor for them. And yet, I am still a work in progress. The turning point was only recently. When I thought they deserted me, they were in fact trying to teach me some lessons. I got mad and I was bad. And also got sad, of course. But my friends just turned their back only to make me realize what friends are really for. I am not a perfect friend, but I am loyal, and with this, I knew I can make it up to them. I am still a work in progress. But with my friends around, I will and we will be going on the right path, as each of us needs to keep pulling each other when someone is down. Just exactly what they have done to me, and I am thankful for every one of them. And this way, we can be sure that we can get on the right path. They are my friends because just like my mom, they kept their loudest silence on me when I won't listen, but opened their hearts when I needed to pour out my tears and sadness. I still haven't thanked them enough, nor have we ever talked about it deeply. Their actions are action seals and heals whatever we have gone through. And I'd like to thank them once again for doing all of this for me. Yes, it is worth it. With my question earlier, was it worth it? Is it worth it? And yes, it is. as it opened my eyes on how many precious people are right in front of me that I don't want to lose them. I will make myself worthy of those who stood by me, and for I will stand by them. The string that holds and binds may not be visible, but the attachment is so strong that no words are needed to be comprehended. I now treasure the time, the moment, the fun, the laughter, and even more the sadness, the tears, and all of these have their meanings and attached with the lessons I must keep in my heart. I will still explore, but now with a more conscious mind and heart to keep the trust I was given with, and to be that responsible adult that my family and friends can be proud of. And of course, for someone I can be proud of. I am proud of my friends and still haven't told that to them, but of course, right, I'm sure they were told, or maybe I will have my silence speak for it. Who knows? They are the ones who keep me grounded. I will call my mom and will ask her to tell me her story again. I almost memorize it word by word, but her emotions and her feelings is something that I won't ever forget, and I will learn from it until now. I needed to hear again and again to keep myself reminded of the struggles and the pain, and in return, I must learn from it still. My father will always be that cool dude, our cool dude, that balances the heavy emotions within the family and do anything basically, simplest things. My brother and sister were just their own characters which I always missed so much, but they kept me grounded in their own ways and I always looked up to them. I have my two grandmothers of two totally different soap novella characters. They have just been added spice to my life. I have many more titos, titas, atas, and kuyas, and of course my cousins, that I really treasure so much more right now. I still have more lessons to learn, but my mom's words will always be there that I must live life to the fullest, but never regret to the highest. But the greatest lesson of all is the lesson you will always hear in the loudest sound of silence.